Interesting statistics about this. Little children in an infant class, how often, if you ask them a question, how often will they answer? How many minutes? Yeah, 100%. 100%. They don't care. They do not care. All right? But the older that students get, oops. The older they get, the more embarrassed and self-conscious they get. So the little kid will do it 100%. Then, when you get into primary school, 50%. Secondary school, 15%. Adults, you guys, 1%. 1% of students are brave enough to speak out. Because as we get older, we get more self-conscious. The other thing also is that it differentiates by gender. This is a problem I used to have. I used to teach at university. And in university, boys talk, women listen. So the men talk rubbish, and the women, who know more than the men, don't say anything, because the men won't shut up. It's a massive problem in higher education, but it's a problem throughout the whole of the school. So how do we get around it? Let's have a go. Now this time, don't say the answer, because you're going to use your voting device. So if you look, you've got the two different kinds. There's a grey one and an orange one. If you can see where there's a power button. Do you want to just show where? Thanks. On the orange one, the power button is here on the left-hand side. And on the grey ones, yeah, the power button is bottom right. And when it comes on, you should see one with a torch. Okay? Okay. Right, I'm going to ask you a question, and this time you're going to use this. Simple multiple choice. Who was the first man in space? John Glenn, Yuri Gagarin, Neil Armstrong, Alan Shepard, Pavel Chekhov, or Buzz Aldrin? So this time what I'm going to do is select multiple choice, A to F, one answer, and what will happen is on your screen you should see A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, you should see A, B, C, D, E, F. So press the button next to what you think the answer is, and then it will ask you to press send. Romantis, can you help? Just check to make sure everybody... Now, the great thing about this is, first of all, when you answer, I can see that you've answered. So I immediately know who's awake and who's asleep. Immediately I know who's paying attention or who's asleep. Right. Let's have a look at the answers. And those are the answers. Most people have said B, Yuri Gagarin. Some people have said C, Neil Armstrong. Now you notice it does not say what the right answer is. That is deliberate. Because when you're a teacher, you might want to have a discussion first. So, B, Yuri Gagarin, first man in space. Neil Armstrong. What was Neil Armstrong? Neil Armstrong was?
First man on the moon.
First man on the moon. Okay? Now the other thing I can also do is I can see who answered what. Now you don't want to do this, probably don't want to do this in class, because this, the whole point of this is that every child can answer without fear, without being embarrassed, because the other kids won't know what answer they've given. And it also here, it shows me how quickly students answered. So if I have a student who always gets the wrong answer in 2 seconds, and it's probably a boy, then I've got to say to them, look, slow down, because boys, they just want to race. Slow down, think. If I have somebody who always gets the right answer in 2 seconds, the work's too easy. But this is incredibly powerful, because suddenly it's not just the one brave student speaking out. Every student has a voice, and the teacher gets instant feedback. Okay, let's do another test. Mathematics. Any mathematics teachers? Mathematics teachers? Okay, no, right, well let's do a mathematics test. Prime numbers. A prime number is a number that can be divided by 1 or by itself. Okay? And this is a sequence of prime numbers: 19, 23, 29, 31. I did this demonstration at a big conference in the Middle East. And I was on the stand, thousands of people, like this, but much, much, much bigger. And the Minister of Education for one of the United Arab Emirates countries, I won't say which one, came to the stand. So the Minister of Education came like this. And he had TV, radio, newspaper. He had all of his assistants around him. This is the Minister of Education. And he came up and I said, "What's the next prime number, Minister?" And he went like this. And all of his assistants were going. And of course, this was on TV, and I'm thinking, I've just embarrassed the Minister of Education on national TV because he didn't know the answer. Okay, this is your chance. What is the next prime number? If you have a look now on your screen, you'll see a box. So use the keyboard to enter. Whoops, I've lost it. Use the keyboard to enter the number and then send. The next prime number. It's the number that can only be divided by 1 or by itself. Okay, let's see what we've got. "19, 34, 35, 36, 37, 41. 34 and 36 are not prime numbers because they are even numbers and can be divided by 2. 19 is the wrong direction. 35 can be divided by 7 and 5. The correct answer is 37. 37 is the next prime number. Okay. True or false? I'm going to show you a statement about sharks. And this time I want you to tell me if the statement is true or false or you don't know. If a shark stops swimming, it will sink to the bottom of the ocean. True, false, or don't know? True, false, or don't know? Now you should see true, false, don't know on your screen. If a shark stops swimming, it will sink to the bottom of the ocean. Let's have a look. Ah, that's interesting. Most people think false. Now, I am not going to tell you the answer, because I want you to go home and go on the internet, do some research, write a report, don't copy and paste, and bring it to the next class. Again, the important thing is that you don't want to give the children the answer immediately. This is not just a tool for testing, it's a tool for encouraging discussion. And I'll give you another good example of this. You can use this for there we go. There we go. There we go. For example, you can use it for encouraging discussions. Here is a statement: nuclear power is the best solution to global warming. Now, this is something you could do with older students. Say, for example, if you were teaching environmental science or anything to do with society or history or science, and you could start off by saying, at the beginning of the class, let's have a vote. Do you agree that nuclear power is the best solution to global warming? So if you strongly agree, choose 1. If you strongly disagree, choose 5 or somewhere in between. So the statement is, nuclear power is the best solution to global warming. Do you agree or disagree? So you should see a 5-point scale, and you can use the cursors to move and choose what your answer is. Okay? Still voting? Ah, okay, cool. It's interesting because you do this in different countries, you get different answers. And in Japan, before Fukushima, everybody was, yeah, strongly agree, yeah, great. And after Fukushima, everybody's like, no nuclear power. It changes. This is interesting because it's very spread opinion. Now, if I was teaching this class, what I'd do next is I'd say, okay, what I want you, let's see who gave which answer. And here are my people who strongly agree, and here are my people who strongly disagree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask this student to work with this student. I'm going to ask this student to work with this student. So I'm going to get students who have different opinions. And what I'm going to ask them to do is I'm going to ask them to go away together, agree, disagree, and do some research into this question. And try and persuade the other person to change their mind. And then the next class will come back and we'll vote again. And we'll see if people's points of view have changed. So this is using learner response system not just for testing, but also to encourage debate and discussion. Okay, you can also use it with younger children as well. So we'll just do 2 more quick activities. This is for very young children. We're going to do some storytelling now. So this time, the last example you would use in older students, secondary school, maybe even university. This is for the little children. Storytelling. We're going to tell a story. We're going to make a story together. The first thing you have to choose is, where is this story going to happen? So the choices are A, under the sea, B, in the woods, C, in the desert, D, on an alien planet, E, in a castle. So those are your choices. Where's the story going to take place? So let's have a quick vote. A to E. Okay, so choose. Is it going to be under the sea, in the wood, in the desert, on an alien planet, or in a castle? So choose the location of the story. Okay, let's have a look. E. Ah, okay. The castle. So our story starts in a castle. Now the next thing we have to decide is we're going to choose who is the hero or the heroine of our story. And these are the choices. We're going to choose our main character. We're going to choose our main character for our story. Okay? Dragon, frog, Native American, fairy, queen, spaceman. Okay. Let's vote. Who is the main character in the story? Okay. E. All right. Interesting. So, that's our main character. You got fairly dark imaginations, haven't you? I'm getting worried now. Who's the second character? Could be the villain, could be the husband, could be the romantic love interest, could be the best friend. Who is the next character? Who's the next character? Let's have some more characters. These are the other characters. Bat, dragon, a ghost, a pirate, I think, an alien, and a frog again. Let's choose. Strange imagination. It's good. It's good. Okay, let's have a look. B, the dragon. Yeah. Ah, okay. I think we've got some fantasy, Tolkien, Lord of the Rings fans. Okay, we've got the Queen and the dagger and her friend the dragon. But that's a perfect example. It's great for creating stories with little children, because the whole class can take part. So it's a very powerful tool. The last thing I want to show you, and this is what I think is the most powerful way to use this technology. I'll tell you a little story. I used to live and work in Japan. My background is not technology. My background is Shakespeare. I used to teach Shakespeare in Japan, in Japanese, and at university. And my biggest class was 420 students. That was a class, so 420 students. It was like a sea of faces. And Japanese students are very shy. And I taught these same guys for a year. And I'd say to them, okay, I've just explained something to you. Did you understand? And the students did this. And it's like, okay, look, it's John Sensei, you know who I am. I'm your friend. Did you understand? 420, no actually 419. 419 faces like this. And then right at the back, there's one student doing this. And because you're human, you think, he understands, therefore everybody understands. Of course, in reality, at the end of term, you give them a test, and you realise that was the only person who understood. Nobody else understood. But they wouldn't tell you, because they are very, very, very shy. And this is a huge problem. If you're teaching mathematics, or science, or languages. Knowledge builds on knowledge. Yeah? If a student does not understand this concept, by the time you get here, they are completely lost. But if the teacher does not know that that student does not understand here, the teacher has no idea that this student is getting left behind, getting demotivated. But with this, a teacher can find out immediately whether the whole class understands or not. So let's pretend I am your teacher, and we are doing quantum mechanics. And I'm teaching you about the fundamental structure of the universe. And I've just told you all about this, whatever it is, but I've told you all about it. And now I want you to tell me, did you understand my explanation? So if you understood it and are confident you know this and can use it, please choose 1. If you are completely lost and did not understand anything at all, please choose 6 or somewhere in between. Here we go, the moment of truth. Confidence. So again, you'll see 6 choices. Please choose.
Is there an option I want to run out of?
Well, it's anonymous. The beautiful thing about this is it's anonymous. That's the whole point.
But still I want to run out.
Oh, okay. You have to be brave. You have to be a brave teacher to do this. Right, immediately that tells me that I've got a few students who get it. That's great.
There's an error in the device, I think.
Is there?
I think these 2% is the error in the device.
I think you're too cynical. Most people are down here. So as a teacher, I immediately know I need to go over it again. I need to explain it in a different way. I need to give different examples. I need to help my students because most of them do not get it. The ones who really get it, then what I do is I would give them some work to be going on with while I focused on the rest of the class. If it was the other way around, if everybody got it but a few people were struggling, then I could say to those students, I could go and sit with them and give them help. Or I could get one of the students who did understand to work with somebody that didn't understand. If everybody's down here, I probably need a new job because I'm not doing too good. But this really is the most powerful way to use this. And the way I think about it is, it's like a remote control for the students. They can speed the teacher up if the teacher's going too slow. They can slow the teacher down if the teacher's going too fast. So if a teacher is confident and brave enough to use it like this, this becomes one of the most powerful tools. Now if you remember that I said that, if you remember the amygdala, yes. The amygdala responds to stress. And one of the biggest stressors for a child in a class is fear of not understanding and fear of being criticised. Because this is anonymous, the child can take part in the lesson without fear of being singled out and criticised. It's anonymous. Also, because if a teacher uses it properly, it can then help the students to moderate the speed of the lesson to match their own ability. So suddenly the student, instead of being powerless, starts to have power over how the lesson works. And so it's incredibly powerful. It's an incredibly powerful tool. Okay, that's been an hour and a half. Thank you very much indeed. You've been great students until now. So I hope it's been valuable. I hope for both the first part was all about the big global stuff, and then this is an example of some of the fun things you can do with technology. So thank you very much indeed. Thank you. You can go have a coffee now.